Yes, who are we? Before we talk about anything, let's reflect on ourselves. Who are we? What are we, Malaysians? Well, we're a small but diverse tropical country with 26 million people. Multi-racial, multi-languages, multicultural, multi-religious, multi-political parties, multi-cuisine, pride in our food that we have. And also we are multi-government. For a small country, we've got a huge number of governments. We've got one federal government, we've got 13 state governments, and we've got 140 or 150 local governments. If you compare that to Shanghai, Greater Shanghai has 25 million people, they have only 3 governments. So there's total overlap, and of course you create a lot of warlords as well. And of course we hold the world record for the number of kings that we have, monarchs. The whole of Europe has got only 8, but Malaysia has got 10. One super monarch and the rest minor monarchs. So all this multiism, if you like, results in multi-problems. In fact, this country is almost ungovernable, very hard to govern because of all the tumpuk kuasa, all the states. And I mean, look at Sabah and Sarawak, they are power unto themselves. Yeah, I mean, they hold the federal government to ransom as well. But anyway, next point is we are a highly political country, too steep, legal system, alhamdulillah, we are very British of course. Economy stable, a good mix. And we are also a great subsidy nation. Everything is subsidized. Not only the poor, but also everybody is subsidized, including the rich. And now with the smuggling of petrol and diesel out of the country, we are subsidizing even the other, our neighboring nations. We are very generous. Whatever it is, we are still a big trading nation, although we are small. The total trade is 1.3 billion. But Malaysia, which is the barometer of our economy, is hovering around 800 billion market cap. As you can see, we've got a lot of baggage. We've got historical baggage, we've got political baggage, we've got racial baggage, religious baggage, my God, so much baggage. But somehow or other we have survived the last 50 years. Next. We are very proud, of course. Yes, we've got a lot of firsts. Vision 2020, Islamic Financial Center, world-class infrastructure. I mean, we're very proud of that. Only thing that we lack is world-class minds. And we are the most car-mad nation. We have got the dubious honor of having the most number of cars per household in Asia, more than the Japanese. And so that explains why last night there was a terrible jam everywhere. And it is a torture actually when you have cars. I don't know why people have cars, because half the time and half your petrol is spent in traffic jams. But whatever it is, we've got 2 cars per household, more than even Japan. Capital Market Master Plan, first in the region, Petronas Towers, actually we're still the tallest twin towers in the world. Very high savings rate, that's something that you all must be proud of, 34%. World leader in Islamic banking, I put a question mark there because I'm not so sure for now. And we also have the dubious honor of having the most number of public servants per capita. Huge number, bloated. And we also have the dubious honor of being the most hospitable nation in Asia. You see, because we attract everybody from everywhere. From Africa, from South America, from Colombia, and they all try and corner us, We've got about 3 million illegal immigrants in this country. That's my personal estimation. If you go to Sabah, there are more illegal immigrants than the local residents. I love KK, I love Sabah. It's my favorite state, but unfortunately that's the reality of the situation. Because we stand out like a beacon in Southeast Asia. Everybody wants to come here to earn a living. Even America don't have this kind of numbers, in terms of percentage. America has about 26 million illegal and legal immigrants. That translates to less than 10% of the total population, 300 million. But for us, 3 billion is almost equal to 15% of our total population. So that's why you go anywhere in town, you see, is this a Bangladesh country or what? Or Indonesian country? Jakarta or what? So, and also, a reflection of our integrity, we are the first country in the world to have our own Institute of Integrity. And the last thing, don't laugh, look at yourself. My good friend, especially Dato' Zai, my brother, we are the fattest people in Asia. The Ministry of Health is very, very worried because now we've got 800,000 patients, diabetes, hypertension, and things related to this too. And the projection is that in a few years, in 5 years, we're going to be double that number. It's going to put a lot of strain on the Ministry of Health and our healthcare system. So that was I, please reduce that. This is very interesting. You will always talk about perception, and I think it's also your perception. This is not my perception, it's other people's perception, okay? When you talk about the government and government institutions, there's a huge credibility gap. The perception is negative. There's a perception there's no separation of powers. The executive is all powerful. You've heard Brother Anwar talking just now. There's a perception of widespread corruption everywhere. There's a perception of racial polarization as well. No press freedom, a lousy delivery system, and of course poor enforcement of laws. These are all very negative about our government. And you talk about ecology, same thing, very negative, massive flooding every year. And if KL, it rains for half an hour, the whole of KL is flooded. And we've got poor water management as well. I mean, we are a tropical country, but when it comes to water management, we have to import. I mean, Klang Valley, for God's sake, we have to import from Pahang. Because we are polluting our water resources. We are not managing it properly. And then poor toxic waste and solid waste management as well. All this results in our environment becoming very, very polluted. And rape of forests and mountains, illegal logging is totally rampant. I mean, these are talk about the state governments. I mean, you go anywhere in the country, you see a lot of bare hills and mountains. And of course, our fauna, our poor wild animals are getting extinct very, very quickly. There are no more tigers to speak of, no more crocodiles except in Sarawak. Land crocodiles menyala. So all this actually reflects on the poor enforcement that we have in place. And poor thinking as well. Next. Again, in terms of corporate life, because I'm president of the Corporate Governance Institute, as you can see, we've got so much scandals here as well. In 1997, during the financial crisis, we suddenly found that the banks were owed more than 100 billion in terms of NPLs, non-performing loans. And we had to work very hard to resolve that problem. And you look at all the other scandals as well over the years. And the latest is, of course, this very infamous scandal about the jet engines. And I will come back to that. Yeah. And of course, the the Accountant General's or Auditor General's report makes very interesting reading as well. So we have to think, is it because of lack of control, lack of supervision, or lack of enforcement? You answer.